But again, this is what's important. But again, this is what's important.
What up? Good morning, and good morning. Welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I am your host, A.D. Walker, the pusher, the grower, the motivator. What's up, Lisa? Blessings, and thank you for always sharing and being a part. Good morning, Cheryl, sports car lady in the building. I appreciate you guys for being here. Today we're talking about real talk about leadership. We're going to get a little bit transparent, talk about the kind of leaders we are. It's going to be a fun conversation. Just a quick programming note. We will not, you feel like something crawl on you, like we will not be here next week. I'll be traveling. But we won't be here in the regular fashion, but just look for notifications. If you get one, a text, you're like, I thought you said we're going to be here. Check it out. It's going to be some pre-recorded stuff. I just want to throw out there, just something to kind of chew on during this holiday season of Thanksgiving. Next week, that's pretty much why we're going to be off, if you didn't know, because I know for a lot of us, time has kind of been flying. So yes, next week is Thanksgiving. Yeah, chew on that. We're almost in 2022, and it's like blowing my mind how quick time is flowing. I think COVID has kind of jacked time up altogether. What up, Keita? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Mama McCory. Great morning to you. Like I said, today we're talking about real talk, having a real talk about leadership, kind of discussing our leadership styles and just kind of digging in, being a little more transparent. And I got my brothers Mark and Kaneem in the building. Pastor may come through, but he's got a lot of stuff happening this week, a lot. So I'm doubtful that we'll see him. So definitely he'll be back after the break. All right, let's see. Yes, indeed. Happy early Thanksgiving. Yes, to you as well. Let's get into it. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to have to do a little work on my new intro, so don't be shocked. All right, we'll be right back. All right, good morning. And welcome to another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. Bam. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, gentlemen.
All right. Fellas, what's happening?
Good morning. What's good, my brother?
All is well. Appreciate you guys being here again. Another edition of the Brothers of Legacy. I'm so excited to be here. Listen, I finished that. If any of you guys seen, I know we talked about these documentaries this week. I finished the Colin Kaepernick documentary. Pretty interesting. All I can say, I'm wondering about, like, was his parents really oblivious to some of his struggles, or some of his recognizing the difference of culture and things like that? Because the movie made it really seem like they had no clue about his struggle being black in their world. So it's interesting. If you get a chance to watch it, it's a little triggering. It's going to be a little annoying. But yeah, it's interesting, to say the least. So have you Kaneem, you said you haven't seen it, right? You haven't watched it?
No, I have not. Just quick disclaimer. I got some contractors just coming over. Supposed to be here in a little bit, so I might have a brief interruption.
No worries.
But it shouldn't take me no more than a few minutes.
Nice. All right. So
But no, I
Mark,
have not seen it.
you have not seen it. Okay, that's
No,
cool.
sir.
Mark, have you seen it?
Yes, sir. I saw it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
All right.
binged it in one night.
It took me like I've been watching it in the morning, so it took me about three days to kind of go through.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's worth a watch. It's interesting. Some of the stuff you're gonna expect. I thought he was gonna go more. Honestly, maybe there's gonna be a season 2, and maybe they're setting it up for that. But I thought he was gonna go into his professional career,
Yeah, that's
and
what I
some
was
of that.
thinking too. They didn't.
Oh, you went mute. You went mute on me.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah. They didn't talk much about the kneeling during the national anthem. I mean, they
Right.
of course they show flashes of it in the beginning, but like
Right.
throughout the whole thing, they didn't talk much about it. Only thing about it though, like so I loved it. Let me just go and put that out there. I
Right.
loved the documentary, the show,
Right.
whatever. I thought it was dope.
Right.
I just for him to be he was 14?
Yes.
For him to be that aware at 14
right.
about what was going on,
Right.
I was
Right.
like, wait a minute, like when I'm not saying that maybe he wasn't wise beyond his years or whatever, but he's at 14, he seemed to be, the show made it seem like he was really just aware
Very
of what
aware.
was going on, and
Right.
they made the parents. Now I believe his parents might have been really aloof to what
Right.
was happening. I believe that part,
Right.
but to make him so
wise in a sense.
wise and aware at 14, I was like, yeah, okay, maybe I don't know, I wasn't there, but okay.
I mean, like even the girlfriend part. I'm sorry, I want to give away too much. I mean, it's not like secret deep, but the girlfriend part, just him being, with the black girl, and my man was like, you need to get the white chick. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, because we do see pretty, but you like pretty and popular, and the other girl was like more open.
Right.
Let's get down, and he was like, nah. So I was like, all
yeah.
right,
Now that's the part that tripped me out. Like, I mean, because most 14-year-old boys,
right.
If you kind of serve it up to them,
Right.
You ain't gonna just be like, yeah, I'm good. Let me concentrate on this. Bro, get out of it. Listen,
I mean,
when I was 14, bro, it was first come, first serve. You did.
In essence, like, and it's cool. Like he could have had us. He could have been like with it and then not with it. I'm like, okay, that's possible. But yeah, so that part threw me off. I was like, you really mature, brother.
Yeah, like nah, you ain't. And I
really
guess
mature.
I think that's the best word. Like they made him seem extremely mature.
Extremely mature.
Extremely mature for 14,
right.
15 years
right.
old. I'm like, all right,
yeah.
bro.
All right. I know. Hopefully we're not throwing everybody off. But yeah, so the documentary was really good. Like I said, it made him look really mature. He made a lot of decisions and resisted a lot of things that even adults, I think, would fall in,
Exactly. Right.
So he was, so I mean, so how realistic is it? Not sure, but he might have been really wise and mature beyond his years. We don't know. It's from his perspective. I'm just waiting for the anti-documentary about it, or someone to get on YouTube like, let me take, the real guys that hung around.
Right,
that dude wasn't that mature.
You wasn't making all them great decisions like that at 14. Come on, bro.
Right. Now he did have his homeboy who was white that really was like his man. So I'm sure that so that might have been true, but and he was keeping him like, you don't want this life, like you don't want any part of this. All right. Let me not we getting off topic, but great documentary. Check it out. Like I said, it's triggering, just like a lot of documentaries. And if you know it's Colin Kaepernick, you already know. And hopefully maybe there'll be a season 2 that talks about college to professional and all the way up to the kneeling, because I think that's probably what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's up, Willette? She said, "What up?" All right. Lisa says she has to finish watching it. Yeah, it's interesting. Just like all things, just binge it. Just binge it. But you get it.
But I will say this, man. It blew me away in like the first 5 minutes of it.
Right.
The first 5 when it first come on and it starts
Right.
showing the comparison of
Sizing up.
slavery
Yeah.
to how the NFL combine, how they size them up.
Yeah.
It makes you look at it totally different. Like,
You're right.
like it's so many similarities. So it was crazy.
Right. But look. All right. I'm about to call an audible, guys. Dang it, Mark. All right. Hold on. I'm about to call an audible. All my football watchers. We about to flip this this conversation. What's up, Pastor? In the building.
Morning.
So good morning, Pastor. Good morning.
My original topic was to talk about, and we probably can swing it back. You know how we do. Talk about leadership and the transparency and being real. Is Kaneem still all right? Kaneem in the building. It's just gonna be
Yeah.
good. So, if you've seen the Colin Kaepernick story, in the beginning, he talks about the comparison with. Have you seen the Colin Kaepernick Netflix documentary? All right, if you get time, watch it. But this one section, it's the beginning. He talks about the comparison between slavery and football and how you get sized up, your size, and you get picked. You're kind of on the block. Like, oh, I want that guy. And I get it. The difference, of course, is in slavery they got little to nothing and maybe a decent spot to live and eat. Maybe with NFL, you're getting a lot of money. You're getting life-changing money for not only you but generations to come if you do the right thing with the money that you get. Can we agree on that? Right.
Right.
But if we're saying NFL is like the plantation, right? And we're not treating the players right, or treating the players as humans, or treating them as people, right? Are we saying if we're not in support of right, and that too, that's another thing. Nobody forced you to go to the NFL. It is a choice. It is a choice. And if we don't agree with something, why continue to watch an organization that treats its players like that if we don't agree? Right? So I want to ask you guys, because I don't watch football, and not because of that. It just never was into my lifestyle. I never got into it. So in me in sports, never because, I'll never be the one like, yeah, I'm not watching it because, nah, I'd be lying. It just never came into my life, and I never got into it. It may happen later, but just not in this stage of my life, and this never came in. But you guys, I know all of you guys watch football. Am I correct? Like into it?
Yeah.
Right.
Love it. Yeah.
So, I mean, would you say it's enough to protest against it? Right. Everybody know Pastor. Dallas Cowboys all the way. But is it enough to protest it? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it enough to stop watching it?
Protest football?
Yeah. Let's just throw football out there.
Nah. I was doing other things. Now, why are we protesting football?
So Colin Kaepernick, beginning of the Colin Kaepernick documentary, he makes a comparison of slavery and football, meaning, and the part of sizing up men, and generally, because football is probably predominantly black men, sizing them up.
You know what? I'm sorry.
Put them on the block.
Let's put it into context for him. So how the NFL combine.
Combine. There you go. That's probably
the combine is like when back in the slavery days, they would put the slaves on the block, and everybody wanted the biggest, strongest buck or whatever. And so that's kind of how the combine is. The combine sees how strong you are, how fast you are, how quick you are, and stuff like that. So they made the comparison of slavery versus the NFL combine, and how it's a bunch of black dudes, and the NFL owners are looking for the biggest, strongest players, the same way slave owners was looking for the biggest, strongest slaves. So just to put it into context.
Oh, okay. That's all in the interpretation. You know what I mean? I understand how Colin wants to put that in his interpretation,
right?
As far as the combine, but he's taking a moral stance on how he thinks. Well, it was all about police brutality and this, that, and third. And he transferred it to the NFL. I'm with that. But as far as relating to the combine, I mean, I mean, that's if I'm paying you millions of dollars,
Right.
yeah, I want to know exactly
Right.
what you do. I want to know,
Right.
hey, well, from top
Right.
to bottom, if you got a cold, if you got
Right.
if you got any kind of DNA transfer from your lineage and through your family tree or whatever, I need to know if you got sickle cell. I need to know everything you got. I got
Right.
bread. I got a lot of money hanging on you.
Hanging on
You
what
know
you
what I'm
do.
saying? So
Right.
if you got a pinky nail that's too long and it ain't gonna make your cleats go, I need to know that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I need to know everything about you if I'm going to pay you all this money. Because if you're a star athlete coming out of college,
Right.
you might did all that in college, but you wasn't getting paid.
Right.
Right.
Now that I got to pay you,
Right.
I need to think of that as your version of going to some corporate Fortune 500 company.
Right.
You go in there with any type of anything on your background as far as illegal,
Right.
you're probably not gonna get hired. But you're gonna be convicted of drugs and
Right.
and all kinds of stuff and still go to the NFL. So we're not worried about that. We, 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 I need to know your physical makeup. Can you get
Right.
on that field and produce? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's all how the interpretation of the combine is in the eye of the beholder. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? So, but
All
anyway,
right.
that's my part.
All right. What about you, Pastor? How do you feel about that comparison and that link between slavery and the NFL?
It's simple for me. If Colin Kaepernick was quarterbacking the San Francisco 49ers today,
Right.
this narrative wouldn't exist with him.
Facts.
So you feel like it's more of a being burned than
Hey, hold on one second, fellas.
No. I feel like in
Okay.
order to do
Okay.
what he's trying to do in his life today,
Right.
he needs a narrative. And he's
Okay.
got to have one. So this is the narrative that he's chosen. It's really that simple because none of this would exist if he were on the field right now.
That's true.
I got you.
So why would you compare making millions of dollars, being selected or evaluated or interviewing for the potential to make millions of dollars
Right.
with slavery?
Right. Right.
Because in slavery, there was no pay.
Right.
They only took. In
Right.
the NFL, you literally become a household name.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Right.
I'm
And to Kaneem's point, if I'm going to invest in you, if you're I'm looking at you, I'm evaluating you to figure out, will you put fans in the seats in my arena?
That's true. That's true. I'm with you.
Can
I
I
agree.
market you?
Right.
Will my team be successful because you're a part of it?
Right.
Right. So that's a very, very tough comparison.
Yeah. I agree.
And I think somebody who was it, Samantha, you choose to go to the NFL. You don't have to
It's
go.
a choice. Yeah.
Nobody's forcing you to go to the NFL.
Right.
You can be drafted and refuse to go.
Right. 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 There you go. That's true. They can choose. They can choose. Like, hey, we want you. Like, no, I'm not going. I'm stay right here.
Eli Manning played his entire career with the New York Giants.
Right.
But the team that drafted him, he refused to play for.
Wow. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets.
Wow.
He refused to play for them.
Wow. That's interesting.
You have choices.
Indeed.
When they said in the 90s when we had the melee in Detroit and they decided to shift the uniform, telling the NBA players you can no longer come in here dressed like hoodlums. Their definition of hoodlum attire.
Right.
Those guys changed their wardrobe. People said, "Oh, you treat them like slave. You're trying to tell them what to wear." I'm not telling you what to wear. I'm saying that if you're going to work here,
right, the standard.
This is what you wear. You don't have to wear what I'm asking you to wear,
right?
But just know you won't be working here.
Right.
You have options.
Yeah.
Nothing is forced on you.
That's good.
Right.
That's good.
Period. Point blank.
Okay. Well, what about what's the guy who owns the Dallas Cowboys? Your boy, Jerry.
Mark Cuban.
Jerry.
Oh, you talking about? Oh, I'm thinking Dallas Mavericks. My bad.
Yeah. So
other Dallas.
Jerry Jones he said anybody that kneels for the anthem,
Right.
you out of here.
Yeah, but that's after Jerry Jones knelt with the team.
When did he
First,
kneel?
Jerry Jones got out on the field and he kneeled with the entire football team to prove his point. And then afterwards he said, if it's messing with my money, we can't do it. Period. But it was after he knelt. He knelt first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I missed that.
I didn't see him kneel personally. I saw him arm lock with everybody on his team.
Yeah.
They had to help
But
that
if
old
you-
man
if
up
you-
off the ground.
Oh yeah, he was down there. He was down
I'm a
there.
Dallas Cowboy fan.
I'm not.
What's up, J.O.? Good morning.
Yeah, I was looking to see what Jerry Jones was going to do. Believe me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Dallas. I just respect you as a fan. That's all.
Yeah,
I would say disrespect you.
And that's a choice. And that's a choice.
Yeah, I
I
respect you as a fan, but I'm not happy about the Dallas Cowboys.
Your
What'd
Cowboys
you say,
didn't
Mark?
have to beat my birds like that, bro. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah. That was disrespectful.
That was
All right.
It was.
disrespectul.
It
All right.
was.
Before we go down this rabbit hole, don't go there. All
All
right.
right.
Bring it on back.
I was going to say it, and I'm not apologizing for the disrespect.
Oh, no doubt. Okay, so we talk about the kneeling. I had something else in my head. So like even because I've heard that the same comparison with basketball and things of that nature, and like we kind of all agree that it's a choice. It's a choice. It's how they decide to, like I said, work for an organization. Everyone pretty much enjoys watching these sports and things of that nature. Do you feel like it's? I don't know. Okay, so I don't know how long you guys, you're not super old, you're not into your 60s or 70s. So remembering when the climate of football and basketball was more Caucasian than Black is something that we don't remember or really know a lot about. But if you do you know if the environment was the same? I know. And then, of course, the money wasn't as high. These dudes they were good, but they weren't the level of good that folks that are in sports now are. But they were good, because not until like the Jordan era was that level of money really coming in. But during the wider or more mixed time, when Larry Bird wasn't an anomaly, he was like the standard, So does anybody have any reference or no? Because I've been thinking about, like, was it the same or did they treat players the same? Was there some level of combine, during these times? I know now, like, of course, because and I'm with you, Kaneem. I'm paying millions. I'm investing a lot of money into you. I need you to be on point. What you do outside is fine, long as it ain't messing up what you're doing here.
To a point.
Yeah. Right. Do you know of, or do you remember any time of that nature, watched any historical stuff about back then? Just kind of throwing it out there.
Wait, what's the question now?
Yeah, I was about that.
Was it different?
Right.
Do you know if it was different before it became majority Blacks in the sports as far as football and basketball?
No.
Or before?
No, when you say different
as far as treatment, different as far as how they pick their players, the environment.
Oh yeah. You ever see the documentary about Bill Russell?
No, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to check that out, because Bill Russell, I mean, he was the only Black man in the city of Boston, Massachusetts, on a professional sports team, and he went through it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like literally, he went through it for years, and then he became a coach and a player. He was the first coach and player at the same time. He became a all white team,
right,
for years. Like, if you go back to those Hall of Famers from the late 50s, early 60s, Bill Russell is the only Black person in the Hall of Fame from the Celtics until the 80s, like 20 years later. 30 years later, because they really, Casey Jones and them didn't get into the Hall of Fame until like 91, 92. So if you think about that, he was the only black player on. Now this is the Celtics. Now I'm not talking about the NBA.
I got you.
But
It's just that team,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Him and Dennis Johnson.
I know. I agree because I looked it up. You're right. I was about to say, I know there's a picture. You always know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'm not a Cowboy fan. I just respect you as a fan. That's all. I never doubted you. I just said just what I saw.
I don't care.
But yeah,
Yeah, I got you.
that's that. But yeah, check that out, man. Bill Russell, another one. Will Chamberlain, he went through it.
Right.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he went through it.
Right.
And this was in Milwaukee before he went to the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, the reality is those early players all went through it.
Yeah,
that's just the reality.
I mean, and because my thing is right, and I get the choice, I get the millions. I think I like if there's such a difference, like why is it different now? We always
I got
say
a theory about that.
Okay,
I got a theory about that, Anthony. I do because so think
I'm
about
it, Richard. Go ahead.
I think about it. Like I said, the NBA back then, the NBA was mostly white or all white. NFL, bunch of white, but so the black athletes they had stood out so much because they were so much better. Like Bill
dominant
was just so much better
than
the white boys. So they didn't have to put him through a combine. They didn't have to put him through a tryout because looking at him, he was just that much better.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So he was the only one.
Right.
We got that one black player. I know he can play. Ain't no sense in putting him through the rigors that we do these other folk because he's out playing these white boys.
Yeah.
But
the eye test.
You bring in more black people who dominate the same way he is. Okay, yeah. Now I need to start evaluating who's good, who's better, who can jump, who can run. Because guess what? Now it's not an anomaly. Now it's a standard. Everybody's good. All these pardon the term, all these niggas good.
I got you.
You feel me?
All of them.
All these niggas good.
Yeah,
so
and the reality is
I need to start separating the pack because I want the best of the best.
Right.
That's who I want to pay.
Right, exactly. So now you have to do that because everybody's good now.
Right.
But back in the 50s and 60s, just put I bet you Bill Russell probably didn't practice half the time. But he could just get out there and just ball.
Right.
Because he was just that good. But now everybody can. Everybody can jump. Everybody can dunk. Everybody can throw an alley-oop and go between, so it's like, we gotta separate. Right. So that's my theory about that.
Do you feel like it's the raising of the standard, is it just because they just got great and went from good to great and to spectacular, or was there a racial overtone in it as well?
Oh, well, of course there was a racial overtone. Yeah, I mean,
the racial overtone. Don't get me wrong. It's still here. It's just in a more diluted arena. You know what I'm saying? So just because it's an all black NBA or a majority black NBA, a majority black NFL, it's still racial undertones in it, but it's at a executive level. You know what I'm saying? So when you put the players on the field and the coaches, those are the product that you put on the field. But everybody that's above that, who actually make those decisions on where this player fits or which player is picked or what position this player should play. If you look at the NFL combine or stuff like that, all the other players are based on physical attributes. But the quarterback position is all pretty much mental. What you did in college, we're gonna transfer those. But now I need to know: can you think? Or is your IQ at a high level? What is what they call the Wonderlic Score? You got to be able to. Yeah, it's all mental for that one position.
Right.
And it's actually on the offensive side of the ball, it's 11 positions on that off. But that's the only one that got to take the Wonderlic. That's the only one that got to
Yeah.
be really in tune about getting a mental aspect of can he handle what we are trying to put on the field. Everybody else is just physical.
Right.
And the NBA is totally different as far as when they come because everybody in the NBA is on a mental note. Like, hey, you in your position, all you have master at your. If you're a small forward, if you this, okay, yeah, you can shoot, yeah, you can dribble, but
Right.
can you be a coach on in your position
Right.
amongst these five players? I need you to be able to think on your feet quickly,
Right.
offensively and defensively. So it's more mental in the NBA than I think it would be in the
But
NFL.
but you know what, Khalid? If you notice, when it comes to the quarterback position, right, it's still an anomaly for a
Right.
black man to be a quarterback.
That's where I was going. Let's go.
2021.
Let's go there. Let's
And so
go.
the thing is this. If it's a white quarterback, he's the smartest person on the team. But if it's a black quarterback, he's the most athletic person on the team. See, they let
I agree.
They let the black QBs do all the running and the scrambling and the improvisation and stuff like that. Whereas you got your Tom Brady's and your Peyton Mannings where sit back there, slice and dice you, and they're gonna be surgical with it, but let your Lamar Jacksons and your Michael Vicks, let them run because they're athletic. You know, forget.
But let me give you a little nugget on that too.
Okay.
If from the transition of college, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, the quarterbacks come out of colleges was white.
Right.
Now, when you get from the 2000s, 2010 into now, a lot of quarterbacks coming out of college, those is getting Heisman nominations and stuff like that. They black and they mobile. They dual threat.
But who?
So,
Besides Lamar Jackson, I ain't seen no black quarterbacks just dominating like that. I mean, that's just me. And if you look at college and pro, the QB position is still majority white.
The only really white dude that I didn't see come out of college in the last 10 years that was real dominant was that guy that's in Cincinnati right now. Other than that, the last 10 years, it's been, I go back to your boy from Oklahoma, that's with Arizona. I go back to your boy that was at Alabama.
Jalen Hurts.
Yep, Alabama. You go back to Jalen Hurts. You go back Tua ain't white.
So what do you feel? What do you guys feel like? And Pastor, jump in. I know you. I don't know if you're thinking or you're ready to kind of jump in there. If you have an opinion on some of the stuff we've been talking about.
Yeah, I do. I was just letting them go.
And don't forget about James Winston too, the #1 overall pick. Don't forget about James Winston.
Like playing jump rope. I'm waiting to jump in.
Go ahead.
It's your flow. It's your flow.
Good.
I'm gonna let you jump in.
Get to it.
But to your point, Khalid, James Winston.
Hold on, time out. Kaneem.
What do you say?
That's the name. That's my name, Kaneem. Not
my bad. My bad.
Go ahead, brother. Floor is yours.
I apologize, but they gave him. They're giving him they gave him a hard time in New Orleans after Drew Brees left. Right? They gave him a hard time. Look at Cam when he was in New England.
Right.
Gave him a hard time. I'm telling you, man, these people do. I think for the majority, folks don't want to see black quarterbacks, man.
Wow.
Well,
but go ahead. No, go ahead.
It starts a lot earlier. Remember that in order to be a starting quarterback in high school, the coach has to want to coach you. If a white coach doesn't want a black quarterback, he's not going to have a black quarterback.
Right.
Period. And the same thing in college. If the boosters don't support a black quarterback, that college is not going to have a black quarterback. The reason you haven't seen a whole lot of black quarterbacks in the NFL is because they didn't get the attention in high school nor in college. They were put in other positions.
Right.
And when you talk about athletic quarterbacks, the reason you see more quarterbacks coming in is because of the same reason we talked about Wilt Chamberlain playing basketball. You can't ignore the physical talent.
Right.
You just outrunning, outplaying everybody on the field, and you'd look like an idiot to not put that person at quarterback.
Right.
That's all it is. And when you think about white quarterbacks, you must remember, if you give a quarterback an opportunity to stand in the pocket, he's going to pick you apart in most cases.
Right.
And with white quarterbacks, the focus is making sure they have protection on the offensive line.
Right.
With black quarterbacks, they spend less time on the offensive line because they expect you to outrun everybody.
Wow.
Right.
So black quarterbacks don't survive because they get beat up
Right.
because they have no protection. White quarterbacks get to sit back and throw the ball because they got 15 seconds to consider who they're going to throw the ball to. And in most cases, they're throwing the ball to an athletic, gifted black wide receiver who's going to get open given time.
Right.
That's why they have so much success. Black quarterbacks, it's the 3,000 count, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. It better be gone.
Wow.
Tom Brady can count to 15.
True.
Why is he so successful? Because he has always had the top offensive line in the NFL, and he's always had a high-ranking defense, so he has more opportunity to get the ball back.
Wow.
Right.
So there's a whole lot that goes into it. You could, what was the gift of Randall Cunningham?
He could scramble.
Oh man. Oh
He
yeah.
could scramble.
Yeah, but he could also throw the ball a mile.
That is true. After he scrambled.
He could throw the ball a mile. All right.
That is true.
And if Randall Cunningham had an offensive line, no one would be able to reach the records that he would have set.
I believe that too.
Nobody. We can't talk
I
about it
believe that
because he
too.
never had protection because of his athletic ability.
Wow.
That's the problem with black quarterbacks. The system depends on their athleticism and never on their brain.
Yeah.
All right.
Warren
Yeah.
Moon is another Warren Moon, and Warren Moon wasn't even tall.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the same thing about Steve McNair. If he'd had a line.
Wow. That's good.
Right. Think about Steve McNair would absolutely have been first ballot Hall of Famer,
Right.
but he would have
each player
records.
role, right. And know each player role.
Yeah,
Indeed.
coming out your ears because he would have if he had been protected, man,
Right.
he'd still be alive because he'd be so famous.
Yes. That's why I said when he was at Alcorn State, man, my buddies and them, they just didn't understand. I was like, man, y'all need to look out for this boy right here. I'm telling you, this is boy, here's the truth. When he hit the field at 350 yards passing, 150 yards rushing
So
every game. Come on now.
my deeper question, right? So let's dig into that.
Yes, sir.
Why is it the two frames of thought? Why is it that we are still because this still exists today, right? Like this still.
It's a simple answer, bro.
Go ahead. Let's go.
We've always been perceived as more animalistic than human.
True.
Right. Let's
That's
put it
why.
out on the table. Right.
True.
Like cattle.
Cattle.
Mm.
Yeah.
And herds, cattle don't think.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's
So-
why.
Yeah. And Pastor, we've also been bred or breeded that way too.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
breed like back in slavery time. If we can go back in slavery times, they would make the biggest, strongest slaves breed in
Right.
order to produce more big and strong slaves.
Yes.
And
Good.
that's
That's
been a
understood.
generational thing,
Good.
Pastor.
Yeah.
Right. That's been a generational thing. So naturally, if the best of the best been producing, that's what you get. You get the big, strong, athletic person.
Right. So of course, let's dig a little deeper. How do we boom, there you go. That's why we're married. So why participate in a system that sees and treats you that way voluntarily?
You want the straight answer?
Yeah, give it to him straight. Give it to him straight.
I'm trying to get paid.
Thank you.
Period.
Money.
Period. Point blank. Drop the mic on him. Pick your mic up and just drop it.
The scripture
Okay,
says
so
money answereth all things, bro.
Yeah, that's
I get
it.
it.
I mean,
Okay, but
that's why you're good.
why? Okay, I know, and I'm gonna I'm gonna bring back the dead horse of our own, right? Or even not our own, because like everybody doesn't think the same, right? Even those that don't look like us, they all don't have the same thought process, right? And even some in the system see the problem with this QB racial disparity. You know, like even like you see, we watched the Colin Kaepernick thing. You know, like some of the coaches, the assistant coach was pushing one direction. The coach was like, "Nah, chief, he's the man." You know, like going towards Cap. You know, he's the man. You know, like he embodies. But my man was like, "But what about my white dude that I brought?" You know, like I gotta watch it. It's kind of interesting. He throws stuff in there. You know, how much is really true? To what happened, but really true as far as how the system works. Like how do we begin to shape a system or even start something different? I know Ice Cube tried to do what's the 3-on-3. I don't know how well that's doing. Obviously, I haven't watched. I don't know if you guys watching. So that speaks to how well it's doing. But how do we change the system or start our own system? Like I don't, and I've said this before, like I hate the lunch counter thing, where we went in, took a beating because we weren't getting served, trying to push our way through businesses instead of just like, you know what, we're going to do our own lunch counter. You know what I'm saying? Like, why will we continuously beat a system that treats us a certain way instead of starting our own?
Well, but you
Starting
want to
your
isolate
own, you mean
yourself.
like starting your own league?
Starting your own, your own. And I know
but
said than done.
What is the biggest hurdle to starting your own league?
Money.
What? No. There's plenty of people that have enough money.
Okay, yeah. Getting sponsors or getting people eyes on
you. And real estate, you have to have a place to play.
Right. You got my yard. We can start there. I'm just playing, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, I get it, but in a way, I mean, there's real estate out there though.
Who controls when they built Mercedes-Benz Arena? Who made the decision?
Right.
Who drives that decision?
Right. White boys.
Well, do they?
Taxpayers and politicians.
But wait, isn't that Atlanta?
Yeah, it's Atlanta.
But see, you got to understand. I mean, what you see on the field, what you see on the field, you see us, but we're not the ones in the front office, though, Anthony. We're not the ones. That,
who's the mayor? Who's the city council? Who's in Atlanta? Right?
It don't matter.
The mayor is not the decision maker. The mayor is the foreman.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if you look at the city of Atlanta, they are really taking care of Black people in the city of Atlanta. But how many of us on this screen live in the city of Atlanta?
Zero.
I don't. You know what I'm saying? Right. So once you get out of the city of Atlanta, it's just a different animal. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of Black males. Go ahead, bro.
No. I was just saying you're right. But you got to look at who pulling the strings. Yeah, Atlanta is Chocolate City. I give you that. Atlanta is Chocolate City. We got a Black mayor, and then we're about to have another Black mayor. Right. But you got to take this thing even to a state level, man.
Yeah. Who's pulling the strings?
White folks pull the strings.
Who's pulling the strings?
And then as far as
how is Atlanta a chocolate city, and state of Georgia is a look the nation shifted in the last election because from a political standpoint, Georgia changed color.
It looked like it. Yeah, they kind of sort of.
Right. It was national.
No, it did. It did. It changed. Politically, you don't feel it, but you see it though.
Yeah, but then how long? Then we got the new election.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, but my point is, so let's prove the point.
To see the governor.
So let's prove the point.
Yes, sir.
Since that happened,
right.
There has been an internal effort to change it back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because
Hey,
what they're saying
great
is
push.
we fell asleep at the wheel.
Right.
And I don't care how many of those folks are here. This is our state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've done everything in their power to get it back. And they did.
I don't believe it ever changed. I believe we gotta win, you know.
The governorship.
Yeah,
You got to have a black governor. I mean, it changed with a white governor at the head. That's what I'm saying. It went.
It's kind of
but
like
it's
like me and you fighting, Kaneem. You know, you kind of with your size and my fighting skill set, I probably take a couple of L's. Just one time, you look the other way, like, oh, he can beat Kaneem now. No, that ain't it. I just won this battle. That's what I feel.
I feel you on that, but when was the last time? When was the last time you won a battle?
Right, a long.
So
time.
the span between. So that's what I'm saying.
Right.
For you to even be in a position to get me while I'm not looking,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's an anomaly.
Right.
You feel me? So
Right.
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
I think it's changing because there's so much information out there. You know what I'm saying? You can't be in the back halls and behind closed doors and like you can just slide stuff through without it being overlooked.
No doubt.
It's not like that no more. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more individuals that who are minorities that are in government offices at the local level who are rising. You feel me?
I feel you.
So it's not just a good old boy network no more. Now you have to rub shoulders with that black woman. Now you have to rub shoulders with that black man. You got to give him a favor. You feel what I'm saying? Because you looking for a favor. You know what I'm saying? So it may not be, a tidal wave of Negroes coming to the governor office, but believe me, it's a lot of Negroes knocking at the door. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, and like Sam said, I feel like it's like an illusion of change. Like we kind of we know we got it, but I don't feel like we got it. Like, and because just like you guys said, we need land to build our own. And though we have Atlanta, we think, what I'm saying, the ones that are still in control. Go ahead, Pastor.
There's no illusion.
No.
The reality is the infrastructure remains intact.
Right. Okay.
Right. So there's no illusion. We can talk about a wave of change.
Right.
But the infrastructure remains the same. You got to remember that there is a state House of Representatives.
Right.
That we don't control.
Right.
And haven't controlled. So the point, right. But the thing is, if you really want to affect change,
right,
you have to be of singular mind. And we're not. Does that make sense? I mean, the reality is too many people are compromising. I say it. Listen, my point is this, and I'm just speaking from a personal perspective.
Let's go.
I was never a Joe Biden fan because I know the history of Joe Biden as an individual, as a politician. I was around in the 90s. I was there in the 90s.
I'm here.
Right. Yeah. But I was anti-Donald Trump.
Right. Right.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, reach out and slap one more time.
So for me, I'm not caught up in the face of an individual. I do pay attention to policy. I'm tracking policy. What is your agenda? Right. And if your agenda is consistent with mine, it doesn't matter to me what your face looks like.
Yes,
My
sir.
issue is there's not enough faces that look like me with matching agenda. Or if there's any illusion, you may talk that way while you're campaigning, but once you get in that seat, you change. You compromise.
Wow.
All right, and we have fallen victim to that far too often. And what it does is that creates disappointment, frustration, and causes people to stay home.
Right. How about Pastor? I'm gonna turn Tower Boulevard into Pastor McCory Street. We good?
Parkway, Pastor McCory Parkway.
Parkway.
Make it rhyme.
Pastor McCory Parkway. We good with that?
Listen, I'll never forget. I won't mention his name. I don't know if Dr. Rollins is on here. I get teased. A couple of years ago, I went to an event in I won't even say the area because somebody might know the representative.
Right.
I went there to meet the representative of that area.
Right.
And I was representing the church, and my wife was with me. I had a couple of folks with me from the church, and we went to shake hands, and it was a photo op.
Right.
The representative, literally, I was standing next to him, and we were in front of the podium, United States with the seal of the United States or the House of Representatives. Right. And I was standing next to him. My wife was standing next to me. He literally moved me out of the way so that he could stand next to my wife. He positioned me on the opposite side of the podium so that he could stand on the other side of the podium, standing next to my wife for the picture. All right. I literally heard his staff giggling. Like, there you go.
Wow.
Okay. Now, not a big deal to me.
Right.
Older guy. I'm not worried about him. But in my mind, if you are that courageous right here,
right.
What are you really doing in your office?
Right.
That part.
Right. And so and not on so if I see that here and I just met you,
right.
Right. What does your staff think about you?
Right.
You want to know why? And I hate to bring this up. You want to know why R. Kelly lasted as long as he did? Not because of him, because of his staff.
Indeed.
His enablers.
They enabled it.
Right? We can't get anything done because there's no real accountability. Right. Like Samantha said, we're not doing that. Someone in his office should be saying, we're not doing that.
Right.
So when it comes to encouraging people to get out the vote, you first have to depend on your staff to be your disciples, to be your evangelists, to carry the news of who you are.
Yeah.
But if they're not even, so, like if I'm here because it's my job, and I'm not passionate about this thing.
Right. Yeah. Indeed.
Preach.
So we need to change the political infrastructure. And I think a lot of times we're missing where the power lies. And I think that's some of the problem. We are not attacking where the power really lies. Like I remember, watching the show The Wire, and he was going after the drug dealers, going after the criminals, but my man started digging into where the money is coming from, and that's where problems started happening. Once he started digging into where the money was coming from, he was hitting a lot of roadblocks. He wasn't getting as much help because, no one wants to mess with the source. No one wants to mess with, where the real power lies. And I think things can change when we focus on, who has the power to change these things. Like we know some of the simple things are, when we're watching the show and there's a sponsor, we start attacking the sponsors. Oh, that show changes. Folks get fired, like they where the money's coming from. When you start hitting the source, things begin to happen. Things begin to change. And I think that's honestly either, like you said, either we build our own or we attack the power source.
But you know what?
Really
it's
make
not
a difference there. Go ahead.
It's not enough of us, though. That's what I think. It's not enough of us. Yeah, you see, like I said, you may look out on a football field on a Sunday afternoon.
Right.
And it's a game field, right? It may be 2 or 3 white folks on the whole team.
Right.
But who owns the team? Who's running the team?
Right.
White folks.
Right.
Listen, I work for Superior Court of Fulton County, right? When to that administration.
Freeze it.
Breaking up, Mark.
Breaking up. You're about to make it.
It's a gang of us, right?
Right.
Say what you just said again, Mark, because you broke up.
Yeah, you broke up. You work for the Superior
All
Court.
right, so I said, well, I work for the Superior Court of Fulton County.
Right.
And when you walk into that courthouse and when you walk into those administrative buildings, it's a bunch of us. You're going to see nothing but black people.
Right.
But guess who my justice is? It's a white man.
Right.
And a state employee, guess who my big boss is? It's a white man.
White man. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not and if you're talking about a numbers game and Anthony, you said something about the money.
Right.
Bruh. Yeah, you may throw us $1 million contract.
Right.
But where that money coming from?
Right.
That is a piece of what this white man got.
Right.
Somebody said that's the difference between rich and wealthy. They said Shaq is rich.
Right.
But when he was in the NBA, somebody said Shaq is rich, but the white man who signs his check is wealthy.
Right. Right.
And it's not enough of us.
Right.
We are still in the minority when you look at the numbers.
Right.
You see a lot of black people, but we're still only 14% of the population.
Right.
And then we're battling your little $1 million contract is battling generational wealth, big homie.
Right. Right. No,
That's nothing to me. That's the money that they paid Cam is nothing to what Robert Kraft got in his bank account.
Right.
So
and that's yeah, go ahead, brother. Don't let me stop your statement.
that was my point, man. It's not enough of us. And like I said, our little money that they throw us is nothing compared to what they got as far as their surplus. So you know, that's gonna, like I said, it's a numbers game.
Well, and here's the thing, you know, again, this is why you got to know Jesus. Right. So that you are constantly reminded of where the real battle is. You know, we can get caught up in this stuff all day long, but remember, it was in the divine plan for Jesus to be crucified. But in the earthly realm, why was he crucified? Because he was in opposition of the Sanhedrin Council. Mm-hmm. The power was in the Sanhedrin Council. The power was in the legislative folks. The power was in the people that owned the educational system, the people that owned the church, the people that basically were the governors of religion.
Right. Right.
And he broke through all of that, and they had to kill him for it. Why? Because he was changing the narrative. Right. He was taking the power away from them.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And anytime there's a threat to the infrastructure.
Right. Yeah.
The reason why Black Wall Street happened is because there was a threat to the financial infrastructure in America.
Facts.
Right? Nobody cared about how much money they was making until they got together.
Gotcha.
And so go ahead, bro.
Go ahead, brother. No. You talking facts.
So and what happened after that? What happened after that is everybody dispersed. Nobody wanted to come together again after that because nobody wanted to have to deal with the consequences of coming together. It wasn't worth it. Right? Now you fast forward, we have individually more than what they had collectively.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So the question now, to your point, Mark, is coming together. Yeah, why not come together now? Well, there are many people that have come together. They've come together, but they're not trying to change the infrastructure.
Right.
They just want their own liberality.
Right.
That's real.
Right. You're right.
Because I'm saying right now, you got black folks out here on yachts, traveling the world, turning up, doing everything they want to do, living their best life. right? Making statements here and there. You know, LeBron James are out there. You know, we got folks I said shouting Black Lives Matter. You know, they doing all of that kind of stuff. But where's the work to change the infrastructure?
Right.
They're trying to change the way people think.
Right.
But when it comes to changing the infrastructure, where are they? Colin Kaepernick has been kicked out of the NFL.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Where is he right now? He's fighting for social justice.
Right.
He really is. But do you really hear about it? Does he have the cameras on him?
Nope.
Nah, the cameras were on him when he had socks that had pigs dressed as cops
right
on his feet. The cameras were on him. But now that he has a real message, he's got to go find funding.
Right. But you would think, like, how far you got to go to find funding? Like, you would think, like, you know, like
where is Black Lives Matter right now? What did we say? What did I say when we first started this? I said, what's going to happen is, as long as that trial was going on,
right,
you were going to hear all that stuff.
Yeah.
Soon as the verdict is read, the real battle will continue, but there will no longer be cameras on it.
Oh yeah.
When you remove the cameras, you remove the influence, you remove the power, you remove all of that.
Right.
Right. And so who owns the cameras?
Right. The network, the studios. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys realize that we have a couple of black people that we have one black man that I know of that actually literally owns a network?
Right.
His name is Byron Allen.
Yeah.
And most people don't realize that Byron Allen owns an entire network.
Right.
But the problem is he don't have the sponsorships.
Right.
He owns a network.
Yeah.
But you don't see no Tide commercials on his network.
Right. I mean, it's the Weather Channel, though. I mean, what was it? The Weather? Yeah, it's the Weather Channel. I mean, I get it. Yeah. I get it.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to know. You want to know where the power is in Jerusalem. You want to know where the power lies? Find your Jerusalem. Right. I know that's deep for some folks on a Thursday morning. Y'all need to go read your Bible so you know where the power lies.
Yes, indeed. All right. So tonight, don't miss the House Hustlers Club meet today. Yeah, Thursday at 7 p.m. on Zoom. I'll be sending out
Superstar in the making.
To connect with that. This is one of the ground floor ways to start connecting and building together. And who knows what House Hustlers might turn into? You never know. Come
tune in,
be a part of this movement. And I want to thank you guys for being here and hanging out with us. Changing the infrastructure. I got some thoughts on that. We're gonna dig into that. But tomorrow is Friday. You know how we do. We play. It's game time. And we won't be on next week, but we will be there will be some videos shooting out that you need to check out. I'm gonna drop some little tips, nuggets, and things that we got coming. So look out for that. So if you get a text, it's not a fake one. It's from me. or from the Brothers of Legacy. And definitely watch out for that. I appreciate you guys always being here and supporting. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. It's a serious thing, though. We do need to work and change the political infrastructure. Stop being placated by, I was messing with Pastor naming the street after him. Like, I named the street if you be quiet. And it's those moments. We win trials and we win moments. We win the battle, but it's the war that we need to continue pressing forward to win. And it's the coming togetherness and understanding what we're really fighting for. And then we started out, like I said, when we switched up and started talking about the NFL and slavery and things of that nature, it's that infrastructure. It's that infrastructure that continuously sends a level of disrespect that we need to eradicate, that we need to deal with. Like I said, we can't change everybody's opinion, but we can at least change the structure. All right. So I appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you are connected to us, join our community. Text LW into 84576. Text LW into 84576. Never miss an episode. As always, we appreciate you guys. Know that we love you. God loves you more. Continue to pray, because each one of us has a piece of the puzzle to make change in our society. So stop sitting on your butt. Do what God has asked you to do, and let's make it happen. All right? So I look forward to seeing you guys. Same time, same channel. As always, we love you. And stay safe. Keep wearing a mask. I know you don't like them, but it is what it is. I know the mask is slowly disappearing, but I'm telling you, it's still out there. Peace out. As always, we love you. Know that God loves you more. Stay safe. Thank you guys for hanging, being with us.